Hi, Lakshman and I have been married for about 5 years now. I don't know where the time has gone. Do you? Has it been quick? Has it been slow for you?
I think it's been quick.
Yeah, it has been really, really quick. All of a sudden, Lakshman came up with this idea and said, you know what, we can actually answer some questions that people have, because some people have asked me personally, and I think people have asked you personally as well, haven't they? Some questions about marriage and things like that, especially in our first year of marriage or a few years down the road. Now that we've been married for 5 years, I feel like we probably are in a position where we are able to share some of our own experiences, so it's helpful to you or to your friends, anyone you know. So I asked in my Instagram for my friends and my followers to ask some questions if they had any. I've got quite a lot of questions, to be honest. Some of them are very similar, so I've gathered everything together and we have about 10 questions. I'm going to read out the questions and then we'll answer it together. Question number 1. Do you get bored being married?
No, definitely not. It was fun.
That was a quick answer.
It was not an easy marriage life.
It wasn't an easy journey.
But I wouldn't say it was boring. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
I have to say we learned a lot, I think, throughout this journey. So I will say no.
You don't get bored being married at all, because for one, Lakshman and I are very different. We are opposites in a lot of things. You do have misunderstanding arguments, but that's the thing about marriage. You learn to love each other. You learn to love each other's differences and you cope up with each other that way. So,
and then we have two different desires. You have something you enjoy doing, I like something I enjoy doing, but
we still have our own lives, and yet we live together and we have our lives together. So there's no way you could get bored when you are doing so many things at the same time.
It doesn't like we do have more responsibilities, but it doesn't stop us from doing what we both love to do. So
At the time.
The best thing is we support each other. So I would say, married life was fun.
Question number 2. How do you manage your finances?
I think that's quite interesting, because when we started, you were the one who created the great Excel sheet. The spreadsheet. See, we've got a spreadsheet and it's called the Great Budget. It has always been the Great Budget in the last 5 years now. So that's our spreadsheet for all of our expenses, all our incoming, outgoing, everything. So answering the question is we have a spreadsheet, a budget plan, which Chumi created it, and then I build it up on the future time after sometimes.
Yeah, I did it first. See, in a lot of marriage counseling and everything, they say the men should do the finances. Leave it to the men. It wasn't intentional, but it worked out that way, that I was a lot better at saving, a lot better at planning at that time.
Very meticulous. So
I did the spreadsheet, and then I managed our finances for about 2 years, I think. The first 2 years, and then I gave it to him.
You couldn't handle the stress of finance.
I was like, forget it, I don't want to do this anymore.
But yeah, I think I would suggest have a very good detailed spreadsheet.
Yeah, that's important.
What created.
But another thing is, how do you manage your finance? Is a lot of people have said that they still have their finances individually, husband and wife. Both of them are working, and they only put money together in one joint bank account for household expenses and mortgages and things like that. And then everything else extra is your own expense. I want to do my shopping, it's my own money. Lakshman wants to buy his things or go on a holiday. They split the bill between the two of them. I
think for us is that the moment you're married and you're joined, you're one. So there's no reason, your account should be joint.
Yeah.
I don't know why it has to be separate.
Has it been easy though, having joint bank account?
I think it was easy. We are transparent. So that way we know where's incoming and outgoing, and that way we have more control over our finance. There's no secrets, there's no hidings.
But what I want to say is, to be very frank, to be very honest, when we do have disagreements about finances, about what we are doing, we have a joint bank account. All of our savings are together. All of our expenses are together. If there's something that I want personally for my own hobbies or, holidays or shopping or whatever, or something else that Lakshman wants for his own hobbies or his personal use, we sit and discuss together, and then we manage it that way.
Not always gone the positive side. There are times we have to we need to come back.
Yes, we definitely have disagreed with a lot of things. I have been tempted to actually split our finances, but the joy in it, or rather the main essence of marriage, is to understand and to cope up with each other.
It's birthday anniversary, that's a different scenario. For that, you don't have to discuss with your wife and then you can
swipe the credit card and then you think about it later.
A lot of things this can be solved by just discussing, which we learned, hard way. Initially, we were arguing, but then we realized, you know what, we need to come to a compromise and common ground for this.
Yes.
And go forward.
Coming to a common ground is a key. Next question. How do you decide who does which work at home? This was a very common question. How do you decide who does what at home? Both of us work, both of us study, both of us are very actively involved in our church, and we are very actively involved in our own personal growth and development also.
True.
We spend a lot of time with our family, our friends. So we are rather occupied. We've got a lot of things going on. So it's not possible for one of us to do everything. That's definitely there.
I think it was quite straightforward for us. I wouldn't say I'm messy, but that saying, comparing to Chumi's standard level, that could be messy. But is the way we do is I do all the labor-intensive works, putting the bins and looking after the cars, whatever it is, and Chumi does all the planning, especially cooking, all the things that she can do. All that she can't do, I'll be doing it.
One of the biggest concerns is that from our culture, in our previous generation, women's work is always at home. She's always a housewife or what do you call it? A stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, housewife.
So it's a man's responsibility to go out and work and bring the income. Because he goes out to work, when he comes back home, he's tired. He needs his food ready. He needs the children all clean and tidy and the wife to be ready and not complaining to him and everything. So the wife stays at home and she takes care of all of the work at home. A lot of people have unfortunately followed through that system now, now when the women are working, I feel. So that's where the challenge is. The men expect the wife to go to work outside and to come back home and do the work at home also, which is unfair, I feel. So it's a matter of talking and discussing with each other. We had our
especially when both of us are working, it's not going to be practical. So obviously, again, this is going to be a teamwork effort. So
next question. This is a bit interesting. How do you get along well with each other's family? Or rather, do you get along well with each other's family?
I'll say yes. Well, to be honest, we both mother and mother-in-law have different cultures and they have different preference.
I am a Malaysian with Indian ancestral background and Lakshman is a Sri Lankan.
Yeah. So it's up to us to make sure, everyone has a good term. And for us, Christ is the center of everything. And, that made things a lot of easy. And there was a lot of compromise and everything this side and that side. In nature, your parent will love your own son and daughters. So that you cannot deny. They will support. They will only support their son and daughters. But, that's what it is.
It's natural to be like that. I was just going to say, you would have noticed it from part 1 of this video, where we did a relationship question, who's most likely to? And then I wanted to do it with our mothers to see how well our mothers knew each other, And it was rather obvious from what both of our mothers were answering. And even Auntie Lakshman's mother was like, my question was, who's more organized? And Auntie said, Lakshman cooks well. Who is sitting on the phone more often? Lakshman, but it's only for studies. So she always tries to justify that because obviously it's her son. She's known him from birth. Obviously,
and vice versa for your mom also, how she's supposed
exactly. That's what parents will do. Yeah. Another thing about getting well with family, it's how you treat them. Marriage is not only between two people. It's not the bride and the groom. It's the entire family on both sides, and that's what really, really matters. Even during our wedding reception speech, remember what I said when I was talking about my in-laws, and I said Lakshman's brother and sister-in-law were my friends first, before they became my in-laws. So that's made all the difference. Every time we go back or every time we meet them or they come here, we go to their houses or whatever, there is no barrier, there is no tags about title or who is bigger, who is older or who is who in the family.
We are very knitted family. We are very family oriented.
We are very close knitted, So it's the same with my cousins as well. You get along so well with my cousins and it doesn't matter. I mean, I can leave Lakshman alone with my family and I don't have to be there to support him or to teach him or guide him or anything. And it's the same for him. He doesn't have to be with me, with his family, basically. And it's a learning journey, definitely. It's different people have different preferences or different, personalities and you get along well. But it's all in your mind.
Yeah, just make sure you keep in touch and keep them involved.
Keeping in touch is the key. One thing, while we are really close with your brother, Lakshman has got his own sibling and I haven't, but I'm very close with all of my other cousins. So Lakshman also is close with my cousins now. But one thing we did after we got married, I think maybe a couple of months after we got married, we've got a group chat with Lakshman's siblings and Lakshman's brother and sister-in-law, and we've got a group chat with my cousins also. So that has kept the connection going really, really well.
Yep.
Next question. What have you learned in 5 years of marriage?
A lot. I think something you would
One
learn.
key thing, if you have to say. What have you learned?
Patient, probably. Yeah, I think I learned quite a lot of patience. Because initially, I think it's two different worlds coming in, living in one
together.
In one house.
Yeah.
And each one have each one have our own preferences and likes and dislikes. So initial, I think first 2 years was more of a learning curve, a massive learning curve. There was disagreements and all sorts of things. But after that 5 years, we are come to a level I can say what your dislikes and likes,
Yeah, we understand each other much better now, for sure.
Same for you also. And how about yourself?
I've learned a lot. I can't really put my finger down and say one thing. What have you learned in marriage? Even yesterday, we were going out for our usual lunchtime walk, and I thought, we've been married for 5 years now.
Yeah, it doesn't feel 5 years.
Yeah. The first year anniversary was really special. Second year, I don't even remember what we did. Second year, third year, and fourth year. I think we went on holiday somewhere. This year we've been in lockdown, but that wasn't so much of a big deal at all. Didn't bother us. But what have you learned in marriage? What have I learned? Oh, my biggest learning lesson. Before I got married, when the wedding was fixed and everything, my mother, my auntie, cousins, friends, everyone else who was married, everyone was like, giving in is the most important thing in relationship. You have to give and take. A lot of people gave me a lot of advice. We had our marriage counseling as well.
Giving, compromise.
But one thing I didn't like when they kept telling us that you have to give in, you have to give in. So people told me that I had to give in the relationship. And I thought, I am very strong-willed. I'm the only child. I take decisions, I make decisions, and I plan a lot of things, and I've been independent basically. So for me to give in all the time or to be told that I need to give in is something that I couldn't take. I wasn't happy with it at all. Did anyone ever give you that advice? Did anyone advise you before you got married?
As a nature, I'm a very giving person and a forgiving person. So for me, I think it made it much more easier.
But what I've learned is, as you progress in your marriage, giving in happens on both sides. Whether the man is advised or not is a different thing, but all I've seen is always the women. The thing that we hear the most, it's always a girl who needs to give in, but that's not true. That's not how this generation lives.
I think it's more of a tradition, but it's more both sides. Both sides has to give in, take in.
It's a responsibility on both sides for sure.
I think you learn a lot of things, but the main thing is learn to give in, forgive, compromise, and solve together if anything comes.
Yeah. The main thing, if you have a misunderstanding, if you've got some sort of a disagreement between the two of you, it's not you against your spouse, it's both of you together against your problem. When you look at things that way, it changes your entire perspective about marriage or about the other person.
I think it's, if you have a disagreement, don't just walk away from that person.
The Bible says, never let the sun go down in your anger. That's one thing that we go, I mean, not every time, but most of the time, we never sleep, we never go to bed, or we never finish the day continuously with that problem or misunderstanding, rather.
We make sure that we solve it before that day and adjust it.
Next question. How was first year different from now? So first year versus
I think first year was a lot of learning. Now is a lot of settling down.
For me, in a way. But for me, first year was still in the honeymoon phase. We did so many things for first year. We were like, this is our first year of anniversary. We need to celebrate it. We have to do this. We have to do that. We bought like expensive things for each other. Have to do holidays and stuff. But fifth year, we're like, 50th wedding anniversary, yeah, it is special, but
every day is wedding anniversary.
Yeah,
it's not today, especially in 5 years.
yeah, we were not so keen on, I have to make it big. I have to do this. I have to do that. I did a photo shoot at home, but it's personal use.
I think the main thing is our relationship has grown stronger.
Yes. Another question was a bit funny, okay? How do you maintain your size after marriage?
Okay. Thanks to this girl. I have to say, Chumi did really hard work maintaining the size, because initially, I was blown up from the day when I started my PhD. But I think it was last 7-8 months, Chumi decided, she planned everything. This is what you're going to eat. She's planned the cooking, meals. I have to say, very detailed. And well disciplined. Literally, there's a moment I was going to explode. I couldn't take it. But thank goodness I had the
You started seeing the results, and then you continued, and then you persevered.
And continued, saw the results, kept on going.
But it's not only you. The thing is, I was thin during our wedding, and then I put on weight. I put on a lot of weight, and I let myself
You say
grow.
that, not the world doesn't accept that anyway, still.
I will show you my before and after picture, and you know the difference yourself.
Yeah.
But the difference between us is that Lakshman doesn't care about physical appearance. But
I do care about my physical appearance.
Mine. It didn't bother you that I had put on weight. It only bothered me myself that I had put on weight. So I wanted to lose my weight for myself, not for him. I wanted to become healthier. I wanted to look good. I wanted to fit into my clothes, basically. I just didn't want to buy bigger clothes. So how do you maintain your weight after marriage? I lost it a lot for about 4 years. Until last year, June, we started. That was my biggest point ever. And then I was like, no, I have to do something about it.
If you want to give advice, a lot of disciplining, a lot of hard work, a lot of planning.
Perseverance.
You have to stick to the schedule. You need to get a coach, something like similar to Chumi, who can literally will not allow you to eat any extra bite. I mean, you have that quantity. So
I've naturally got a lot more discipline than Lakshman, even if I like certain things. Yeah, when it comes to food. Only then.
When it comes to food,
even if I like to eat something, I know how to control myself or limit it.
I love food.
Okay, next one. Just the thought about marriage scares me so much. What do you have to say about it? I will answer this first, okay? I never wanted to get married initially. I wasn't big on it. I didn't trust man. Not Lakshman, but just men in general. I stereotyped people at that time. Things just happened. That's a very long story, but then marriage happened. And for us, Christ is the center of our marriage. Now, we've got a faith that we believe in, and we practice that. And in our marriage, Christ is the center of everything. So we look up to God and we look up to Christ. Even today, we sit here and talk about being comfortable with each other. We've been married for 5 years. The time has flown really quickly and everything. But it's only because of God. It's only because of Christ. It's only because of our faith.
Everything revolves around Him. So no matter what disagreements or anything comes, we know we have to live by biblical principles. So that kind of a guard for us in terms of we don't drift away.
Yeah, it's a bit cliche to say this, but trust me when I say it. It is Christ who grounds us. If we both had our own way, we wouldn't be together at all.
No, because
I would have gone back to my mother's house or sent him back to his mother's house.
We're complete opposites with different preferences.
There will be a lot of changes that you need to adapt to, both the girls and the boys. It's not regular life anymore. You are living with a partner, and it's not like I will do my thing and he can do his thing. You are in a relationship, you're in a communion together. So whether you're a Christian or not, whether you believe, you have faith or not, it's just the same principle applies to everyone. When you agree to marry someone, you agree to live with that person until the end of your life, basically. So there will be change. It's something that you both need to look out to. But when you do love that person, it's going to work out for sure.
I think people need to learn to repair things if breaks rather than replace. I think that's some of the things. I think this new generation is designed to it's not working, so they replace it rather than repairing it. Where all generations, if you look at it, the successful marriages, they learn to fix and repair the things together. That's why people are able to live a very long life.
Yeah. Next question. How do you handle conflicts and rough patches?
I think we already discussed in some of the question is just to make sure we sit and talk and discuss about it.
You need to talk about it. That's a key mainly. You can't avoid and walk away. Your partner is not a mind reader. If I don't say what I like, dislike, Lakshman's not going to know, and it's the same with him. If he thinks it in his head and thinks, I will know, I'm not telepathic. So there's no way your partner is going to know if you don't talk about it.
Make sure when you talk about it, just be calm, be patient.
Come to a center ground.
Be nice.
Yeah, come to the middle ground. And that's a key. If you want to go on a holiday to Hong Kong, for example, and your partner wants to do a local holiday, you could probably settle somewhere in the middle, go to a nearby European destination.
Or you do Hong Kong one and you do the local another day.
Yeah, if you want to do that, yes. But I was just trying to use that as an example to come to the middle point.
Right.
That's a key. Last question. How do you impress your partner?
How do you impress?
How do you impress your partner?
Chumi's love language is attention, a lot of attention and spending time.
Quality time. Yeah.
So if he can identify each person's love language, that's the main thing you'll be able to impress your partner on a daily basis. I'm still working on it, I have to admit. but at least know what is your love language and how to impress you. I think that's
took a very long time for us to understand that. One fun fact, okay? Lakshman wants my presence and he needs my presence. I need his attention. So we share the same office room. If I walk out to do my work in the hall or in the living room or something, and he's like, where are you going? Come and sit with me, do your work here. He wants me to be there, but I need him to talk to me, not just, company for presence sake, that type of thing. So that's that's the way we do things. One thing I want to point out though, impressing your partner is not necessarily the right term. When you're married, you can't really impress your partner. You can't impress your in-laws. You can't impress your family. You need to be yourself.
Yeah.
And that's really important to be yourself.
Don't be
with your partner. Yeah, you can't be artificial. I mean, you will burn out. You can't, let's say your in-laws are visiting or you are visiting your in-laws or anything like that. You can't be cooking all the time. You can't be cleaning all the time. You can't just do everything all the time just because you want to impress them. So that's not the right term for your partner, for your spouse, I would use. But I'm guessing the question was, how do you show love? How do you express love? And that's the best way I can explain it. You need to express love in that person's love language. That's a better mindset in a marriage as opposed to impressing that person.
It's not about impressing one another. It's more of loving one another.
Yeah.
That should do.
It's more of loving one another. You need to always remember that you have to, if your partner likes flowers, if your partner likes surprises, you have to make a conscious effort to do that. Yeah. Or if your partner wants something and he likes a specific thing or a specific dish or whatever, make an effort. And that's what changes things. Making an effort leaves a lasting impression. So that's about it for the questions that we've had today. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because there will be more coming. And if you have any more questions, drop us a line. Whether you want to email me or you want to put it on my Instagram, ask me a question on my Instagram, by all means go ahead, follow me. I share a lot on Instagram.
I think we just give a summary.
This is just scratching the surface for sure. Thank you very much for watching.
Please subscribe and share.
See you again soon. Bye.